Let's go.
Well, hello there. So, helping SoulForge here, because won their tournament for them. So, here's the deck profile that I had of it. So, it was Gold Paladin's Gurguit in premium format. So, I run 4 Gurguits, because he's the main unit of the deck. Then 4 Percivals, because both of them together breaks the deck, stupidly. And then 3 copies of Endure, which is a better version of Algove, which does the exact same effect. Put a unit from the rear guard into soul, gets plus 10k and bounces back to hand. Also, it's defensive well as well. As long as I'm on grade 3, it gets plus 10k shield, which helps a lot. Then grade 2s, I go Daragel, because he's great at starting combos at the beginning of the turn when I first ride my Vanguard. Counterblast 1, cool 2, grade 2 lower units, which I most of the time will either target Wonder Rezel or Cardle, and then I get to draw an additional card. I decided only to run 3 of Algove because I feel like you don't technically need the 4th, because by that point you're just even though it's good with resource manipulation, it doesn't actually, like, I find myself always leaving 1 on the field by the time I've done the 4th. So yeah. And then I use 3 versions of Night of Sunny Day Samal, because if I do decide to stride, it's 2k to every unit and it does stack, but it's mainly because of its defensive side, because of the fact that at the beginning of the guard step, when my opponent's Vanguard would attack when my opponent's rear guards would attack the Vanguard, I can just throw him into Soul and call the top 2 cards on my deck to Guardian Circle, which is stupidly defensive, just a lesser version of Gurguit. Next off, 3 copies of Night of Daylight Kareth, because I can't get a 4th. So, but he helps with the start off the combos. I only run 2 copies of Wonder Rezel, because that's all I feel like I need to, because after that it just feels like my deck gets too cloggy. Then I run, for the grade 1s, I run 3 copies of Crust, if I can talk today, because he is really good in this deck. Just rest him when I'm in Unite, and then I get to give a unit 4k, and if my Vanguard is Gurguit after GB1, choose another rear guard, put it into deck, and then I get to draw a card, then countercharge, and that's not once per turn either, which makes this card questionably broken. Then 2 copies of the V version of Jeffrey, just as the starter Vanguard if I pull him off, and also to help with guard. And then I run 2 V copies of Gorbel, and then 2 of the premium versions, because the premium versions just help me search out Gurguit if I don't have him in my hand, and then the standard, and then the V standard ones will help me search out for any grade 3, obviously. And then I've got my obvious starter, Cole. And then my trigger lineup is 1 over trigger, because in this deck I don't stride, so I don't ever get to Ultima in that sense, because I only have a G guard to activate my card's effects. Then I run 3 of the crit hot stamps, which give my Vanguard power and then goes to Soul and draws 1. I run 2 of Liberator Rabbits, because when I do G guard, just helps with the counter charge, and then 2 V standard one heals, obviously, and then run 4 PGs, 4 draw PGs, because this deck actually gets around Sentinel restriction like no one's business. And then finally, run 4 of the D-Series front triggers, because again, you're going to have a lot of rear guards, so everything will be gaining 10k from the front, and also it's just very good defensively as well. And then, so that's that there. And then for my G zone, whenever I do decide to run it, I run 1 of the GB8, just in case the game ever goes on to that long. I run 1 copy of X Spear. That's only if I don't get to G Guard before I get to do everything, just to help me speed up my G zone so I can get GB1 and 2. 2 copies of Radiant Sword Gurguit because he's also helpful, but that's only when I stride. Then I've got 4 copies of Raging Dragon because he's just a good card to be able to call out a new rear guards. Counterblast 1 and turn another copy of himself face up. When he attacks, get to look at the top 7, call the same amount as face up in the G zone, and then if I called 3 or more, Counterblast 1 or Soul Blast 1, which is just really helpful. And then I also have got 4 copies of Gurguit Helios, because why not? He's really good in the deck. 4 drive checks and Sentinel, and well, not Sentinel, but stops premium versions of Perfect Guards. So that helps a lot, and it also just helps with power. And in my G zone, I run 1 Liberator Ella because most of the time I only run her just to call out an additional rear guard when I need it, but most of the time I'll never use her. And I run 3 copies of Golden Beast Scraggy Flare because in this deck it's just another way to help to get around Sentinel restrictions, and then obviously the 1 quick shield. And that's the deck list that won me today's tournament.
Cool. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys. English is hard.